We are back on top of the bus here today, and we've got one more thing to take care of with our solar rack install, and we need to make sure more of the air goes up above the panels than below. It'll just make me feel better. So my plan is I'm going to take some leftover aluminum sheeting that was on the inside of the bus, and I'm going to make a air dam that connects to the solar panel actually, and then comes down and it attaches to the roof there. And to do that, we're actually going to bend the aluminum, and I'm going to show you how to do that with just a table saw, believe it or not. I've done this a couple times, it works really well. So over here on the side of my Sticks and Bricks house is where I keep a lot of my old bus stuff. I've got some windows here that were cracked, but I keep the frames. I think I actually have one good window stored over here, but I kept all of these, and believe it or not, I've used a number of these. Some people probably scrap them when they convert their bus, but I've kept them, and it's really paid off for me because they're perfectly good. I think they're over 4 feet long each, these aluminum sheets, and it's going to come in handy today. So I will show you at least the principle of how it will work. So here are the two that I'm going to use. They're all cleaned up because each of these are going to go on either side of the air conditioner, and there's going to be a gap. And I did clean off the glue off the back side as best I could. It was a pain in the butt, but it did work. Oh, we got the Coco Beast here. How you doing, big girl? Yeah. Oh, Coco just recently turned 8 years old. She's a big girl. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Always gotta take some breaks for doggy time, huh? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. This is the principle, in theory anyway. So this is a normal sheet of aluminum here, right? And it's actually, you know, in a long sheet, it's pretty flexible, but when you get it real tight like this, you know, if you were to try and bend it right here, you need a metal brake generally, but I don't have one. So what I've been doing is I put it on my table saw and I cut just a little bit, not even halfway through, and then I can bend this much easier, and it gets a perfectly straight bend. So I'm going to do just a test one on this just to show you how that works. I'm going to be doing my bend at about 1 inch in. You know what, let's do it this way, because that's going to be more representative. That's up too high. I need to go down more. That's too low, it doesn't even touch the saw blade. What I usually end up doing is testing it a couple of times. Gotta go up. So you can see the score line it made here. This isn't that deep at all. I don't know if you can tell here, but it's, geez, I don't know, maybe a couple of thousandths. Let's do a little bit more. So I found if I put something in the channel of my table saw here, it'll let me bend it a little bit better. So I line it up right there, and then let's see what happens here. That didn't go to all the way to 90 because I haven't done here yet. I think if I were to move that, I would have put this all the way in here. Yeah, that would have worked a little bit better. Oh well, you live and you learn. So bend it back a little bit. Now I'm in a pickle. Alright, so you definitely want to try and bend it all in one shot. So I mainly did this just to get it in similar alignment with the rest of it. And now I could put it in here and finish it off. Now it's tough to get it full 90. What have I had to do for that before? I think I might have to put 2 pieces of wood in here and go all the way over. I put a piece of 3/4 inch plywood behind here, and that keeps this tight enough. So yeah, now we can get the full 90. Oh, but I kind of screwed up again. I didn't have this piece all the way in. I might have to trim one of these down a little bit to really make it work. Alright, well, it's not without its problems. It needs perfecting, but I don't bend aluminum all that often. And this isn't quite 90, but it's getting pretty close. And I can finish it off just working it like I am here. But you can see that's how, I mean, on the outside, that's a pretty nice bend. So that's my plan, and this is, I mean, this is extremely stiff now. So I'm going to do that on either side of my air dams that I'm going to make, and that should make it pretty strong. And then attach it up on the bus like we talked about. So I'm going to go ahead and use this technique to make both of those. One of the things I'm going to have to do first is I have to trim them both. So these are not all the same, they're not square because the bus floor isn't level. So there's a slight taper on this side, so I'm going to cut that off. I have to do that on both of them. Oh, the other thing is, some of you might be wondering, why in God's name am I cutting aluminum with a table saw? Aluminum is very soft. It probably cuts easier than a lot of hardwoods. Now this piece here is a little bit different than the other ones. I'm not going to trim it actually because this one ends at 19 inches and it tapers down to about 18 3/4. So I'm going to be okay with it being tapered a little bit. So what I'm going to do is set my rip fence at 18 inches, and that should give me a straight line this way. So it should just come out just fine. I don't know if you can see here, there's a couple areas where it's not scoring it because it's bowed up a little bit. So I was trying to use this to push it down without cutting my fingers off or something. So I think what I'm going to do is, well, I'm just going to try to get that area. But the rest should bend okay as long as there's some tooth to the score. So I've got a high spot here so that I'm having trouble with. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tap it with a hammer. I think that's better. Alright, let's try it now. Now I know my shop teacher would be really mad at me for what I was doing, but I felt it was pretty safe. You know, do this at your own risk. It's part of the problem with this is it's kind of scrap aluminum, so it's not as straight. So it's kind of tricky to get, you know, a perfect 1/32 or yeah, whatever, like a 1/32 cut out of it. So, but I think it's. Oh, where was it here? Yeah. I think this is coming out. I wandered a little bit here, but I think this is going to be just fine. So now I can. Now I'm going to set my fence up for 1 inch, and I'm going to cut 1 inch in on all the other pieces. Alright, so I cut a piece of 3/4 inch plywood down just a bit so I could get that piece of aluminum in this channel a little bit easier. Go. So I want to make sure that the line that I scored is near the corner of this. My rip fence holder dingus. And then I'll do the other side, put pressure on it, and it should just fold over. Should. Oh. On these bigger pieces, sometimes the table saw likes to lift up. But there, it's not perfect, but I'll put it back in there and wrench on it again. I think I'll probably clean the rest of this up with the vice grips, but I'm going to move on to the other side now, which is definitely going to be more of a challenge because I only have that thin, I just have this thinner piece here. not so bad. It's got a, you know, we're not quite to 90 here, but I can do it again. You can get a little more out of it if you keep the edge of it up a little bit more. You can get more range out of it. It's tough when you have such a small area to work with to begin with. But you can also kind of push in on it too. Or use my favorite tool, the hammer. Alright, so now this is way stiffer. You know, that'll move air any way I want it to now. So the next step is I have to do I think I'm going to do, yeah. This side here is going to be the top, so I'm going to bend this, fold it all the way over on itself, and I'll have to trim these tabs here a little bit too. So it's probably better that they're flared out a little bit. So to do that, we'll just start with it right in here. And we're going to leave it sticking out a little bit, and it should bend on the line. Yep, there it goes. You can see it. And then I can actually, a lot of times I can finish this with my hand with these bigger ones. There, and then that will go up against the solar panel. Will be right here. Okay? And I can adjust this a little bit. There's some wiggle in it. And then this side is going to bend out. This is probably the only time we're doing an opposite bend. That's in there, and then we'll bend that out. And I don't know exactly what these angles are going to be, but I can adjust them. See, it still bends. So it might be something like that. Here, you can get a better look. Something like that up on the roof. And then I'll paint these white. I'm just going to cut off these tabs quick. Maybe we should go up on the roof and test fit this before we bend up the other one. Experience has taught me that sometimes going a little slower is better. I forgot about that. I don't know if you can see here. There's I have the mount here, so I'm gonna have to cut that out. Good thing I came up here to measure that. But overall here, I think you can see how it's gonna fit. I'll just attach it over on the front there, probably with screws, sheet metal screws, and a little bit of die-core on there, and it should be good to go. So I'm happy with that. And then this is plenty strong. You know, I'm putting, I don't know, I'd say, I'm putting some weight on it. Alright, so I think next I'm going to paint it. Oh no, first, right, I keep forgetting. I'm gonna mark the cutouts, the cutout area for the solar panel supports, then I'll paint it, and then I'll make the other one up, probably. And then the paint can dry on the other one while I'm attaching this one. Alright, something like that. I don't know. Sorry about this. I was thwarted by the GoPro mode. I thought I was recording a video. Really, I just took a picture. So, I've already got one done here, but don't worry, you'll get to see me do the other one. I'm using a high-performance enamel Rust-Oleum white rattle can. That's pretty much what the white on the bus is. Works pretty good. And this is just one quick coat. I'm just finishing up, and then I might give it another, and then start on the other one here. Well, it's later on in the afternoon. We did have a little bit of a rainstorm, but it's clearing up now. So these are painted. I'm gonna mount this one, then I gotta move my rolling scaffold to the other side, and then I'll install the other one. So I don't know, I'll show you how we do this one, and then we'll probably wrap up. Got this side put on. It's pretty solid. Looking good. Now on to the other side. Well, that wraps it up there. My GoPro died on me, per usual. Anyway, maybe you can kind of see what I'm seeing here. I think I might end up turning those white panels into solar panels. That seems to only make sense. So if that's my big idea, I might do that in the future. But for right now, I'm liking this. So that's it for this one. And like it, subscribe, comment. I don't know, give me your ideas. Thanks. Bye.